Welcome to Beastie Besties with Jay and Lo, the podcast where we share publishing updates, laughs, and all the new news in our world. Today we're going to interview Kim Adams. She's the author of Bella and Nash, Our First Camping Trip, and she'll be joining us just a little bit later. Jess, you want to give us just like a quick rundown on her book?
Oh, it's awesome. It's really, it's about these two cousins that don't really know each other that go camping in the Adirondacks, and one is nonverbal and the other is a little bit, we'll say, precocious, and just how they find empathy and understanding and learn a lot of lessons in the woods and have a great time.
Awesome. And grateful for, we have you first on the script, so why don't you go?
All right, y'all. I got to tell you, it's going to be a little dark this week. I'm sorry, but we've had a death in the family, so I'm out in Florida right now. But I am grateful for the show Widow's Bay on Apple TV. It's fantastic, just interesting. You know, it's nice finding some storytelling that you actually enjoy on the television these days. I am now the proud owner of a second dog who is sleeping here next to me. I'm sure he'll pop his cute little face up at some point and say hello to y'all. And, you know, with loss sometimes comes some really beautiful things, and I've had a chance to reconnect with a lot of great people in my life that I haven't spoken to in quite a few years. So there's been a lot of love and just, you know, laughs and tears and stories and good times. So it's, you know, silver linings, as we were talking about earlier, right, friend?
Yep. There's got to be a silver lining.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you have them, especially little Frank. He's so cute.
Silver
Can't
baby.
wait for him to pop his head up.
No, he is awesome.
I am grateful for air conditioning because it feels like Florida and New York this week, as it does most of the East Coast. And you might be able to hear it in the background. Sorry about that. But if I turn it off, I'm going to be just moist.
Melting.
Nobody wants moist. I'm very grateful for our authors with the loss and having to take a break for a couple of them. They've been very understanding, and we're still, you know, making progress and getting them moving forward. But love our group of authors. They're just awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, truly. Like, need it.
Yeah, and I am grateful for having the courage to cancel things when they need to be canceled. So whether that's people, opportunities, certain things, but just, you know, I think I'm not a people pleaser type of person, but it's still, you want to say yes, and you get into some things that you're like, okay, maybe it's time to end this, and then you consider how long you've had invested time or whatever, and there are just certain times where you have to say enough is enough, and yeah, so I'm just grateful for the courage to do that sometimes. And yeah, intentions. I think, you know, we talked about, we've been doing the intentions on the podcast, but I will be honest, we haven't been doing them so much as a daily practice as we used to. So, but we had talked about getting back to that after another thing that we had going on. So I think after this next thing that we have going on,
I'm not making any promises.
You're back and settled in Denver. It's time to get back on intentions, but we are, at least one of our intentions was keeping this podcast going. So we are doing that.
I mean, considering everything that's going on, we're sitting here right now today when I just got the news last week and had to drive out west, or where am I? East?
You know,
who am I? What is my name? I don't even know.
Florida is neither east nor west. It's just kind of dangling there.
Straight down to hell.
So I think that, you know, but that's a great example of having the intentions. We have
tenacity.
this and we're doing it no matter what, you know. And yeah, so if you are following intentions and thinking about bringing it into your endeavors or your friendship, it's very important.
You're so right, though. And I mean, to piggyback off what you were just saying there is, like, I met with a coach last, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. And they said, you got to get intentional with these things. And, like, you need to make time for yourself every morning to do this, this, and this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then everything got off track, and I should be doing this, this, and this, and I'd feel so much better. But it's just like, it's so hard. You really do have to be intentional with doing it, right? Because it's so easy to fall off track and just be like, I'm tired. Everything's crazy. This doesn't. So.
But life happens, and I think that's also one of the benefits of doing it with your bestie, BC, whoever, someone, accountability buddy, whatever, someone who can, you know, okay, cool, we've had some time off, let's go back to it. Or even during it, like, okay, well, one of our intentions was this, so how's that going during this episode or whatever?
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but let's see. Let's get on to our news. The workshop is filling up. We are still making our last push to get this going. So we have vendor opportunities available. This is happening at the CNY Arts Center in Fulton on August 22nd. It is, Tanya called it a marketplace, which I think I like as well or better than book fair. So, because it is open to everyone outside of authors. If you have soap company or other type of art or craft, it's open to you. And we've talked several times about the amazing speakers that we'll have there. Georgia Popoff, she is an amazing accomplished writer in the Central New York area. Dr. Luisa Caprono, author of Push Then Breathe, which we love her, and there's other videos of her on our YouTube channel giving her advice on how to just market your book. So I'm excited to have her there. And then Aldea Gerard is not going to be able to make it live. So we are having a bonus where you get me instead. We're going to do marketing and business plans. And Aldea is actually going to record her part, which actually I think works out better because her part was to teach people how to use Canva to do their marketing and do social media posts. And you'd be able to hold on to it and have it live and rewatch it.
Yeah, that's really great because I know I can take as copious notes as I think I can and still miss one step. So if you have someone walking you through it, that's really valuable.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we are also, a proud sponsor of the CNY Arts, the art scene at CNY Arts new author spotlight club. And July 17th will be Valerie Cole, also known as Avian Swansong, who will be doing The Old Witch's Home, and The Old Witch's Camp just came out. So Jess, how about a recap on those two books?
Oh man, they're really awesome because I remember when Valerie first joined on with us, we were getting a book called The Old Witch's Home. I didn't know what it was about. I thought it was some cool cottage in the woods where an old witch lived, but no, it's a retirement community for witches, which the first book is awesome. They're all in their beautiful separate homes, kind of subdivision that they live in, and something happens that kind of takes over the retirement community, so they need to figure out who the bad guy is. It's very high level Scooby-Doo where it's we got to get this mystery solved and see what happens. Now the witch is headed off to camp, and of course mischief followed them there as well, but this one involves Gaia and the environment and Earth and just, this community. They're both really about community, and they're fantastic books. Avian is awesome. Just really cool.
They're both LGBTQ type of reads too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some non-binary characters. There's some senior romance in it and things like that too. So it's different. It's a fun, cozy read that really gets the brain going. Especially The Old Witch's Camp, because she touches on some subjects and, she's got me thinking. Every time I pick up a plastic water bottle, I'm like, oof, but in a very good summer camp, fun way.
Right.
And,
it is, we always have the community going, and we meet once a week on Wednesdays, alternating days and evenings. And our challenge this month has been posted by now. I'm not sure what it is. But it's sure to be a fun one as usual. So we usually make a post about it on social media. So if you wanted to just do it on your own, you can. But if you want to take part in it, get the full description, and report to the rest of the group, you can join us inside the community. And it looks like our friends are here.
Oh, excellent. Can't wait to talk to Kim. It's been way too long since I've had a chat with her.
Right. We have Kim Adams with us, as we said earlier, the author of Bella and Nash, Our First Camping Trip. Welcome, Kim.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
There it is.
There
Tell us about the cover.
So I wanted this cover, I wanted it to represent camping in one of the parts in the book. So this actually happens in the book, and so I wanted that represented. So there's a picture inside it and a picture on the cover, so that it represents.
Awesome. And who drew it?
So my illustrator, Gina Noel, illustrated it, and just plain illustrations on a sketch pad. I didn't want anything fancy. I just wanted plain, and then I wanted black and white except for the cover.
Nice.
It looks so cute.
Right.
And Laura and I were just talking about books and whatnot, and I just found a whole box of books from my childhood, and it reminds me of some of those ones, like the old How to Eat Fried Worms and Ramona Quimby and those things that so many of us grew up on. It's so cute.
Yeah. What inspired the book to begin with?
Well, I'm a retired teacher, so I have the background to write the book. It's based on two cousins that go on a camping trip with their grandfather. And one of the cousins is a neurodiverse little boy who uses a communication device. And I actually worked with about 13 kids like him.
Wow.
And I worked with communication devices, one-on-one, one-on-two. It depended on that particular year. So in one little boy, I actually started in kindergarten, and he couldn't speak any words at all. And by the end of the year, he spoke a couple words. But we communicated through the device. So.
You know, in reading and working with you on this book was the first time I was made aware of a communication device like that. So I also learned something from this. Plus, you have a lot of like camping and hiking and tips because you are a big lover of the Adirondacks as well. So you kind of have a little inspiration from those woods, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. We love the Adirondacks. My husband, Glenn, actually was born in Saranac Lake. So he's gone up as a child every summer. He actually used to spend a month with his grandmother up there. And then once I met him, we started dating. We started going up there together. Hotels, camping. So we just love it. It's beautiful. And anybody that's been up there, it's inspiring to write a book too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I live in some different mountains, and people say, like, do you ever get sick of this? It's like, how can you get sick of something so beautiful? You know, even Florida, driving across the causeway for 30 years. That sparkly ocean, those sunsets, and that nature gets you every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for the story? What do you hope people to get out of it?
So first of all, I'm a teacher, so I want the kids to learn it. It teaches about New York State. It teaches about the Adirondacks. And actually, the fourth grade curriculum in New York State, if you're a student in New York State, you learn all about the state. That's your year, fourth grade. So this book will help that as well.
And even a little unexpected, maybe understanding and empathy and whatnot can kind of sneak in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
It does
one.
teach kids all of those, empathy and tolerance. And actually, I met a little girl at one of my events, and she said, I don't really care for Bella, but once I kept reading, I liked her at the end. And Bella has her own journey. She learns a lot about herself. She learns a lot of empathy and tolerance, and she educates herself in this world like you did, Jess, of not even knowing that there's kids, there's adults that they can't speak. And this communication device helps them to speak.
Precisely. I mean, and I've been Bella where I haven't been as patient or tolerant as I should even 20 minutes ago, we'll say. You know, where it is like we can all just take a breath and understand that, you know, sometimes people see things differently or communicate differently, or, you know, there are so many just children and adults alike, you know, just.
And I also want kids like Nash to read the book and to see themselves, because kids like him have not been represented in kids' books at all. Right. This is a unique chapter book.
Yeah.
And there's not characters like this out there.
You know, and it's interesting, too, because I never got to watch the movie, but I watched the trailer about 5 times. I want to say Life Animated, Life Illustrated, there was a movie about an autistic boy that came out years back where he was nonverbal, and then through Disney movies, he, like, found his voice. And that's why, you know, these stories are so important for the representation, or just for the, like, safety or the comfort or the inspiration or anything that it gives to, you know, any age person, really, honestly. Like, you know, we all find things in our little brains that need us, you know, that we need to kind of help us along, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, we definitely want to talk to you about your author journey since publishing. So what was your publishing experience like?
Wonderful. It really was. And I'm not just saying that to your audience.
Right.
Just from the very beginning. So my husband published with Wilde Beast first. And he was referred by John Simone, who wrote the book about Tex Simone. And exactly, it just, one refers to another refers. Let's face it, when you have a good experience, you're going to tell people, right?
Yes.
So John had a good experience. He referred to Glenn. Glenn had a wonderful experience, and then I did as well. So just from the very beginning, you two ladies and your team as well are very hands-on. And we loved that because we had zero experience. So it worked out so well. And the numerous emails and the texts and the phone calls and Jess being like, I've already looked at that, I've already edited that, which she never said, but I'm sure she was thinking that. And also, you give the author the choice of a suggestion. And the author has the say. Yes, I think your suggestion is perfect. Or, you know what? No, I know the characters, this is the way I want to write it. And then you respected that, which was huge for us.
That is one of the main things that's very, very important to me, because Laura and I are just two little drops in this wide ocean of people and opinions, right? And I always say, I don't want it to sound like you and I wrote the book. I wanted it to sound like you wrote the book. And so it is, where it's just like, we'll put over some, we like to call it the wall spaghetti, like see what sticks. And it's just, we put it there for you to look at and go, maybe not. And I love it when people say like, no, I don't think I like that so much, because it shows that they're thinking and they care and everything like that. And you were very, like, you had such strong ideas and such good ones when you came in, and you're like, no, this is kind of how I want to do it. And like, once you explained it to me, I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. And so it is nice, that collaborative process is really important for me. So I'm glad it works well for you as well. And I mean, we had a great time with Glenn and John too. Those guys are, you know, it's just, it's a fun little family thing we have going here. Or herd, excuse me.
Your herd. And the herd is just getting larger.
Our flamboyance.
Even after the fact, you're approachable. You're still approachable. You
you're
have
stuck with
office
us.
hours. Glenn and I office hours. You know, I'm sure there's not publishers that do that.
Well, it's
I don't know, but
yeah,
that are
Okay.
that are as approachable as you two. And
Thank
it's
you.
perfect, because you've helped us with so many questions, social media questions, website questions, and that's another thing. Glenn and I had never built a website, and you helped us with that as well. So,
Yeah.
and I want you to know too, Laura, that when we go to book events and book signings, we are asked from more than one person, who published this? And some people that have self-published haven't had a good experience. Some people that published with another publisher haven't had a good experience. And Glenn and I are quick to just open our book and show them, or hand them on the way out a book. If they're not interested in buying our books, we hand them our bookmark, and we show them right on there, Wilde Beast Publishing. Here's how to get a hold of them. They were excellent. And so hopefully from this,
Yeah.
phone calls. And what actually surprised us is there were a few book festivals that there wasn't a publisher, and I've shared this with you, Laura, before, represented, that really should have been, because there were authors. Well, why isn't there a publisher here? So
Yeah.
keep that in
Well,
mind as
we
well.
appreciate you, and you know, to those watching or listening, we did not pay her to say any of that.
I did.
Oh, I'll say that. No, I was not paid. No, it's just been a great experience. And, you know, we
Yeah.
don't
Well,
have to think twice. We don't want to
love that.
self-publish our future books. We're going to go directly to Wilde Beast, because
Well-
it was such an excellent experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate that, and that's everything when we started the company that we were striving for. Because I didn't see the point of an author publishing their book and then not helping them sell it. I do not understand that business model in this industry at all. It makes zero sense to me. So for better or worse, that's what we're here to do, and to help people, you know, and to make it so easy for you that self-publishing your next one is not a question for you. Unless, like Caitlin, you are that kind of person who just wants to have control and do it yourself. She's done amazing that way. But we're even here to help her support doing that. She just sent me a question the other day about that book, you know, and it's like, actually it was about our book, but if she had asked a question about her other one, we're here to help. Like, we want everyone to succeed.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I got an advanced copy of one of her books and read it and gave an opinion. It's just like, it's not proprietary, and like you've always said, there's enough for everybody. You know, writing a book is such a personal and vulnerable experience, you know? I mean, I've got chapters of mine coming together a little bit, and it's like, just saying like, okay, cool, you did this big, huge thing, like have fun out in the wilderness. I'll have fun out there camping without a tent or any tools or anything. Like, good luck, you know? It's just, that's not our style.
Yeah. And so, Kim, after publishing, what's life as a published author been like?
So, well, I had to teach myself, and I'm still teaching, and I'm still learning all about promotion.
Oh, it's hard, right?
Social media, website, just introducing myself, even just seeing like a family, wherever they may be. So anyway, yes, so I'm learning all about that. And for somebody that's very private like myself, it's challenging. It is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and then we both think of different ways. We might have a conversation with somebody, contact. We might be just Googling around and we find a festival somewhere, and then we get on the phone or we look for emails. We're trying to get in touch with bookstores. So it's challenging, but it's exciting. It is. And Glenn, my husband Glenn Gomez Adams, who wrote Your Caller Number 7, Please Try Again, he actually put up a billboard on 690 2 weeks before Father's Day about how it makes such a great Father's Day gift. So we're just trying to think of different ways putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, that's great. That's what it takes, just testing different things. Different things will work for different people, and where your excitement and energy goes. I know you guys go to a lot of events, and it looks like you're having a lot of fun doing that.
It is. My favorite part, of course, because I'm a teacher, is meeting the kids. I like meeting the kids and talking to the kids. And then after a kid has read a book, then I like getting their opinion.
I can't even imagine how fun that is. You have to just have some hilarious and heartwarming conversations with these little ones. Like, just how much books mean to you when you're that age, too, right? And just how important. I mean, I still think of like the first books and movies I watched, and I found a book in a box that I haven't thought of in 30 years, and it's just like instantly, it's right there. So
Sure.
can you imagine in 10 or 20 years from now when people find you and you're on book 20 or something, and then they're like, oh, like the Babysitter's Club books, you know, you remember.
God, I love those books.
Right.
They're great.
Yes.
So, Kim, what would you say has been your favorite part now of being a published author?
Well, I've always wanted to write a book since I was 10 years old. I had this series in my mind. Nothing like this series, actually. But that's something I've always wanted to do. So, again, I like going out. I like meeting the kids. But the neatest part of all is seeing your book on a bookshelf at Barnes & Noble. It's like you've made it.
I can't even imagine. I mean, just like seeing your book on a bookshelf makes me feel like I made it too, because I was like, oh, hey,
Yes.
I know that book. I know that author. She's like a friend of mine.
And to be honest, Jess, I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. You polished this. I wrote
would have
it.
been able to
you
do it,
polished it.
Takes a village. You
So,
know, I mean, none of us can.
Thank you.
It's always
That's
easier
awesome.
with a team. It was an honor.
Yes.
No, truly.
So we're out of our friends are here time.
Okay.
No, we have one very important
Yes.
question.
Oh, yes. We're
don't
getting to
we?
the end. That was my point. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Carry on.
so very serious question.
Okay.
If you could invite anyone living or no longer on this earthly plane for s'mores by the campfire, who would it be?
I'm going to say my deceased father because
Beautiful.
he would be so proud of me and he'd want to talk all about the ideas of where they came from. And I miss him so much. He's been gone 12 years. So that would be the person.
I wish that my father and I could join you for those. That would be awesome. Yeah, they, it's like they're looking down on us and they're proud of us regardless. But it is tough that you can't actually just pick up the phone and give them a buzz.
Yes.
Yes,
well,
he
that
would
was
have got a
great
kick
answer.
out of it. He would have laughed and enjoyed it. And probably he would have actually, he was a great artist. He would have insisted upon drawing all the illustrations.
That's so cute. My dad, not so much. It looked like he did everything with his non-dominant hand.
No, it's all good. Kim, what's next for you then? Or what's next for Bella and Nash?
So, well, there is a day 2 that is on my computer, and it's not completely finished. It's one of those things I look at and then I stop looking at. So hopefully day 2, and I've actually had some kids ask me, what's next? What are you going to do next with them? So.
Well, you left us kind of hanging on the end there.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
So we're going to
And I
need
did that
day 2.
purposely.
Oh, Yeah.
Well, fantastic. And lastly, where can people find you?
Okay, they can find me on my website, bellaandnash.com, Amazon, Ingram Spark.
The shelves at Barnes and Noble.
I'm sorry I mentioned that earlier. Shelves at Barnes and Noble.
Well, thank you, Kim, for joining us. And, we love having you in the herd. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
no.
all your kind words today. And, we're excited to see also, we'll be on standby seeing where Bella and Nash head to next or what happens on day 2.
I mean, you're an absolute delight. It was so fun working with you and your husband.
Yes.
I mean, John Simone, like
And
the whole
John
crew.
and Wendy,
I don't
yeah.
know where y'all are coming from, but like,
Yeah,
we
we'll
love
take all
y'all.
the authors from whatever group you guys are in.
That little circle is amazing. So
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, and
Thanks
you
for
again
stopping
for
by.
everything. And thanks for the opportunity to be on your podcast. This
our
is
pleasure.
awesome.
love it. Thank you for
Our
making the
pleasure.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care, ladies.
All right. Bye.
All right, in light of Kim having been here, we're kind of taking a look at children's books right now. And we get a lot of inquiries about children's books. Just kind of wanted to talk about, children's books and young adult trade revenues are up right now as far as book reporting goes. And there's a lot of people making children's books and a lot of people binge buying children's books. I think when we were younger, we had, a handful of all the same books that we read. And now I think kids just have thousands of options,
I'm telling you, you just in clearing out my brother's house, I found this box that said He-Man on the side of it, and I opened it up, and it's all these books of ours from our childhood with my name and whatnot written in them. And it's, just looking back at like all the Beverly Cleary and like all these other just like Donald Duck and Jack and the Beanstalk pop-up books and things from 40 plus years ago. And then, in meeting some of my mom's friends and things and whatnot, being in town, sitting in a pool, and just this woman said, I wrote a children's book during COVID, and this is what it is, and nobody wanted to pick it up. And here's what it was about. And it's a really cool story. It's not mine to share on here, but we'll talk offline.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're fantastic. I love kids' books. I'm gonna get back into How to Eat Fried Worms and everything out of that, like Celery Stalks at Midnight. Who doesn't want to see Bunnicula again?
So I wanted to chat just a little bit about, we have some children's books that we've done. We're happy to do them, but a lot of people do and should try to go for traditional publishing on that because there are a
Yes.
lot of agents that do look for, because sales are up on children's books, they're looking for that. But there are some things to consider. Like a lot of times they'll use their own illustrators. So if you have your specific story or look that you want, you may have to be willing to give some of that up, and obviously look at the details very clearly on what they're giving you. I know at least one author who her publisher does not allow her to go to events that she wants to. She can't sell books out of her own hand. Everything that she does has to be approved by them. So if there's a conference or something, they either have to send her or she has to request to go. And then I think the biggest drawback is like, I can't sell you my book right out of my hand. It has to go through the publisher. So just considering, if you are listening and you have a children's book and you're like, which avenue do I go, self-publish, or if I want to go with a traditional publisher, that's definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, no, it's interesting in poking around and talking with people and kind of, just seeing how things work now and how many more people are leaning towards a non-traditional, whether, whatever it is, because of it's a little bit more control.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if it's film, music, writing, or regular art. Like people are definitely making that decision in all of those industries, whether they want to own the rights to what they do and keep control over the artistic creative side of it. And the other thing is like, as a service publisher and our limitations on printing and stuff, we have more of a focus on a little bit older. We don't do like the toddler books that are what do they call it, board books. And if you want like gold leaf and that kind of stuff, we can do it. It's just that it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Like minimum runs of 5,000 books to be able to get it to the cost that you would need. But one recommendation is, if you are going to go that route, or if you try traditional and you're not getting picked up and you still want to put it out there, is to go ahead and just do it print on demand, either on your own or with our help, and see what the reviews are. When I went to the New York City book show, one of the things that the traditional publishers on the panels were talking about is that they are looking for already published, already established books, people who have a following and already know what they're getting. So It's no longer like worry about, well, if I already put it out there, no one's going to want it. It's actually different now.
Yeah. I mean, and even in just like with people asking about embossed covers and things like that too, it's like, well, again, there's some limitations with these things and whatnot, but
Yeah. And again, it can be done. It's just like you should put it out there, get the feedback, get some reviews, then see if you want to spend the extra money and the warehousing to do that. Because it's not just the book storage and everything else that you have to have. Like you think, oh, I could put 5,000 books in a closet. Just the weight of those alone is more than you probably would ever expect.
Girl, I have been driving around with one box of books in the trunk of my car forever, and I am so sick of looking at this one box of books. Like, I couldn't imagine, I mean, and just the extra weight, like not the literal weight that comes with looking at those books in your house every day and wondering how you're gonna sell them and things like that. It's everything has its pros and cons, and my dad always said, like, write out a pros and cons list and see, because what's right for me might not be right for you. What's right for Dottie might not be right for Frank. Y'all, I got 2 dogs on here hanging out with me right now, so apologies if things are a little shaky and noisy. There's a thunderstorm, so. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many paths and avenues, and I just think, like, there's so much more access to creativity for people now, with things like TikTok or being able to self-publish or self-promote or make your own movies and just kind of put them out there on whatever. I'm sure you learned some of that stuff, too. You were at a film fest recently as well, right? Like a Film Fest conference. Yeah, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing, it's there's so many different avenues to get your work out there anymore. Just, again, pros and cons.
Yep. Yeah. It's just what's the best fit for you.
Yeah, well, we have, speaking of Beastie Besties, we're going to replace today's Beastie Bestie story with the new Beastie Bestie who's joining our lives. This little beastie here.
This is Frank.
Hi, Frank.
He's awesome. He's a new member of the family. He's coming back to Colorado with me, and he couldn't be cooler.
Right.
He's a sweet little boy. I don't know. He's going to have a great life.
Yes.
Right, Bubs?
I'm excited for him and Dottie's adventures, and maybe one day there'll be a children's book, too.
Yeah, Frank and Dot, I know we've already been making jokes about them going down to the bingo hall, like, Frank and Dot, they're down there by the bingo hall. They're having their old fashions. He's a good boy.
Nice.
He's so sweet though. He's like 22 pounds of love right here, and sneezes. He's got sneezes, right, Bubby? Yeah. So I got my 2 Beastie Besties on the bed with me, and I don't know what I'd do without these 2 fools. I'm so proud of Dottie, like, for being a very spoiled only child. She's doing excellent, getting a stinky little brother in the mix. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're good. They're good babies. I'm a lucky girl.
And if you have a Beastie Bestie story, you and a best friend, or you and a sibling, husband-wife team, whatever.
Dogs, cats,
yep. Yeah,
horses.
You and your dog have gone on a cool adventure. Like, we want to hear about it. So go
your
to our
llama
website,
got out.
Fill out the Beastie Bestie story, whatever fits beasties or besties. And we would like to hear it and share it with everyone on our socials and on the podcast. So that's it for today. So be yourself, run wild, and take leaps.
And don't forget to high-five your homies and pen your pages, for real. I mean, call your loved ones while you can, y'all.
That too.
That too. All right. Kisses.